and then everything ends. We've suggested that the existence moves eventually to becoming one with God, Goddess, the All That Is, yes. To becoming a oneness with God, Goddess, the All That Is, yes. But a oneness does not mean singularity. Don't mistake the words. Oneness is not a singularity. It isn't just one entity. And that's the difference. Your perception of oneness is singularity. And why? Because you perceive reality in small little chunks that you can control. And the perception is that as a singular entity, God, Goddess, the All That Is, can control all of existence, all of reality. And that if you can become one with God, Goddess, the All That Is, then you will be in control of all of existence and all of reality. Along with a few thousand others. But at least you'll be in control. But the oneness we speak of is a oneness with all of existence. And that is not about singularity. It is about being the flow itself. Being the tide of reality. Being reality itself. And in the oneness then, allowing yourself to, if by choice, observe small chunks of reality or large chunks of reality. Now, from one perspective, you are already there. You are at a oneness with God, Goddess, the All That Is, even now. Though your soul essence does not see itself yet as a oneness, and though you yourself have yet to perceive yourself as a oneness with God, Goddess, the All That Is, you are at one with God, Goddess, the All That Is. It is just that you cannot yet see it. You cannot yet perceive it. You are standing on the waterfront looking at the water going in and going out. But you are not part of the water. It is separate from you. And to expand your awareness beyond the perspective of separateness will lead you to a perspective of oneness and will move you to a state of command. Notice we said a state of command. And that as a result, therefore, reality, existence, will simply be an extension, an inclusion, and an appreciation of that which you are. And then the choice comes into effect, as we've suggested in the previous session. So now, you, dear friends, each and every one of you, separate, singular ego personalities with a different identity, a different name, George, Mary, Louise, Helen, Michael, Gabriel, Josephine, Mary. Each name different, each name defining a different aspect of reality, each word representing a new concept of reality, such as human, animal, cat, dog, horse, fish, bird, mammal, vertebrate, invertebrate, cruciferous, non-cruciferous, insidious, indigenous. Each word in your language is used to describe separateness and to enhance the perspective of separate portions of reality. But regardless of these words, there is a constancy and a continuousness that exists in reality that transcend the perspective of separateness, transcend the definable boundaries that you establish in order to accept the reality that you perceive. And it is only based on your perception. We assure you, as much as horses have blinkers to keep them focused straight ahead, you put blinkers on yourselves to keep you from wandering into a perspective of reality that would exist beyond that which is acceptable to yourselves. What do we mean? Let's take an example. Most of you here today live middle-class existences. You go to work, you make a portion of money. That portion of money is defined by your society as middle class. You exist in a city and in a province called Ontario, and to you this is reality. You have a wife, you have wives, girlfriends, husbands, and daughters, etc. You have relationships by which you define yourselves. You have opportunities for existences by which you define yourselves. You see yourselves as benevolent, as good, as kind, as loving, as giving. And you define yourselves by these parameters. And each one of you sees themselves on the basis of the reality in which you exist. But now, just to shift the perspective slightly, now you go from middle-class suburbia to what could be described as wealthy class in Africa. The amount of money that you make today in Canada, which is viewed as simply middle class, would be defined as a king's ransom in certain parts of Africa, as a king's wealth, and you would be revered as kings and queens. And as a result, therefore, the reality in which you exist in, a different chunk, would present you with a different set of circumstances, a different set of opportunities, choices. For if you were in an environment where you were viewed as a king because of your financial wealth, then you would choose differently than that which you've chosen presently. And all because you took what you call your wealth as middle-class Canadians and transposed yourself to Africa, certain parts. This is an example only. We assure you there are many more. You could do this anywhere in the world.